desk who asks more questions, listens better, and makes decisions based on available information? When I come back, I'll tell you. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. The Department of Agriculture determined ethanol's energy balance to be 1.7 to 2.3. That's to say, today's ethanol production yields nearly twice as much energy as it took to create. Also, in 2011, ethanol use reduced tailpipe CO2 equivalent emissions by 25.3 metric tons. I'm Bobby Likis with 20 facts about ethanol, brought to you by the Renewable Fuels Association. Move over, Mars. Venus is better at the service desk. Why? Many men believe they're born with car chromosomes or fix-it genes. They tend to tell service managers what's wrong. Trouble is, premature diagnosis could be faulty and expensive. But women relate what their cars do that they don't like. Women talk about symptoms like strange noises or sensations. Keep up the good work, ladies. Advice for Mars and Venus? Don't stop with descriptions. Take your technician for a spin. Let them see and feel what you're talking about. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. Now there's another reason to look forward to Friday, the favorite day of the work week and aptly named for the Roman goddess of love. When we come back, I'll tell you why Friday's an automotive sweetheart. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. Myth is that ethanol production dramatically increases food prices. Fact is that experts from the USDA, World Bank, academia, and independent consultants all note that a complex range of factors influence food prices, including supply chain costs, weather, and oil prices. I'm Bobby Likis with 20 facts about ethanol, brought to you by the Renewable Fuels Association. Fridays are best known for winding down the work week and gearing up the weekend. But before you turn to the open road, Friday's also the best day to head for your service shop. Most repair facilities are busiest Monday through Thursday, tending to cars that break, often of cumulative neglect over the previous weekend. With a big rush over, technicians tend to spend more time, are more thorough, and pay extra attention to detail on Fridays. With some elected pre-repair on Friday, you'll fall in love with Mondays all over again. TGIF. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-54. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic, live via ABC Radio Satellite Services. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
Well, that's true. I'm Bobby Likis, and I am your host. I'm your car guy. Just consider me your personal car concierge. I don't think I've ever used that term on the air. It doesn't matter. It's Saturday morning. Ride along with me this hour. In fact, ride along with us this hour. The crew and the team here from Car Clinic, from the center of the automotive universe, are eager to serve you. Rob will take your calls at 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. Put you in the queue, and I will put you on the air. This segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you by General Tire and the Ultimax RT43. The Ultimax RT43 is designed for a quiet, comfortable ride that includes the visual alignment indicators to identify when a vehicle is misaligned. How about that? Your tire is telling you when your car is out of alignment. You can visit GeneralTire.com for all the details and for more information. Coming up, Terry Sabiston from our affiliate in Daytona Beach. That's right, here he comes again. WNDB 1150 AM and 93.5 FM in the Daytona area. We're going to hear about the turkey run today. No, this is not about turkeys. This is about cars. Specifically about all types of automobiles, so you'll want to stick around. I see the phones are starting to light up, so for all of you in the queue, stay with us. And for all of you listening and watching, stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you're going to love us. Let's go to the Car Clinic inbox. Don from Wisconsin writes, Dear Bobby, I have a 2005 Silverado 3500 I just bought to pull a fifth-wheel camper. I upgraded to the 1-ton because my new camper is 16,000 pounds and my old 3/4 ton didn't have the oomph to pull it. The tires are original but have good tread and just 35,000 miles. Should I worry about tire age? They only have a few cracks in the sidewall, and I'd love to not spend the money if possible. Don, I'd love to tell you not to spend the money, but I just can't. Definitely replace the tires. Even with low miles, your tires are over 11 years old, and that can pose a safety issue. You'll be generating a lot of heat with that weight, and you'll want to stay safe. I recommend General Tire's new Grabber HTS 60. They feature updated wear technology that improves tread life up to 25% over the original Grabber HTS. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. Time to go to the Car Clinic inbox. Scott writes, Bobby, the engine in my Land Rover overheated, so I performed a radiator flow test and found poor circulation and a bunch of stop leak in the radiator, which I assumed the previous owner added. I decided to replace the engine, which I'm proud to say I did myself. But that engine ran too hot also, by about 20 degrees, so I installed a new thermostat. But even with the new parts, there was minimal change in temperature. After 2 more replacement thermostats, I went with your advice, used a Superstat, and the problem was immediately fixed. I noticed that the Superstat was much closer to the design of the original part and that the Superstat was heavier than the cheaper ones I purchased. I really could feel and see the difference. Thank you, Scott. Stant Superstat is our choice and the choice of professional installers everywhere. Visit Stant.com for all the advantages of the Stant Superstat. That's Stant.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Like Shakespeare, we ask the question, what's in a name? Ours is pretty blah. We're Geico, not to be confused with Gecko, a small tree lizard. And no, Geico doesn't have a sister company named Girl Co. So, in the absence of a perfect name, focus group tested for hipness, we offer car insurance at a fair price. In 15 minutes, you could save 15%. Call 1-800-947-AUTO, 1-800-947-AUTO. Our name may not be cool, but saving money always is. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
Another lending success story from LendingTree.com.
I tend to put things off. For example, I put off getting a home equity line of credit for a while. Then one day, when I should have been doing my laundry, I went to LendingTree.com. I filled out one simple form and got 4 offers back within hours. Then I chose the line of credit that was right for me. Who knows? I may even get around to using it someday.
When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com. Equal housing opportunity. For additional information and state license disclosures, please visit our website located at LendingTree.com.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Mallory White. We're going to get started here. Before I do, let me share with you the rundown so that you'll be apprised and be aware of our schedule this morning. Coming up is Terry Sabiston from Daytona Beach, and we're going to be filled in on what's going on in Daytona, which is a big, huge event at the Daytona International Speedway. Also, we have Jim from Detroit, our Car Clinic reporter. In addition, we have Dave Larson in the queue, who is a product manager for Jaguar. And yeah, you can blame me for that because that's one of my favorite cars, and he's going to tell us all about the new F-Type SVR, which stands for, well, you have to wait. I'm not going to blow his cover here. In the meantime, call me with your car questions at 888 Car Clinic, and I'll put your name in the hat to win a $25 gift card that we're going to be giving away a little later in today's program. Compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. And now, just another reason to love O'Reilly Auto Parts. A $25 gift card? Really? Great. How great that is. It's a nice way to folks to jumpstart spring and soon summer. Thanks, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'll announce the winner at the end of today's Car Clinic show. So call now with your car questions, and we'll put your name in the hat. And now let's go to Daytona Beach. Terry Sabiston, probably one of my favorite co-hosts. Terry, welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Thanks, Bobby. It's always great to join you on a Saturday morning, especially live from Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better.
What's up?
It's the spring turkey run, and we don't call it used to be the turkey rod run or the spring rod run, but it's the spring turkey run. And this is, a lot of people don't know what the turkey run is really about, but besides cars. And I'm going to explain a little bit of that. But it's cars right now, unbelievable cars. And they've got a display right in front of the fan zone area of the old and the new. They've got a 65 Corvette sitting right next to a 2016 Corvette.
Wow.
They've got a 66 Mustang sitting right next to a 2016 Mustang. They've got a little thing called a Roadrunner out here, really a 73 Roadrunner that really looks cool, and right next to it is sitting a Charger. And then back to that Roadrunner, they got my dream car, the Roadrunner Superbird, and right next to that, they got the two-door Challenger. So it's just right in the middle of everything is the old and the new, and that's the theme for the turkey run this year. Is just come on out and see the old and the new, because there's all kinds of cars out here.
Terry, not to change the subject, and not really changing the subject, but you mentioned Superbird, which for all intents and purposes was a strange-looking automobile with that huge wing and that aerodynamic. I suppose it was aerodynamic. That's what they were designed for. But did not Richard Petty, run that car at the Daytona track? Was he the first one, or do you remember?
He did run it at the track, but if I remember right, I think Buddy Baker was driving for Richard Petty, and he won here at Daytona in a Superbird. So it's an amazing car, and just to see the street version is something that I would dream to having. But I grew up in that era and saw those cars at the tracks, the Superbirds, and it's just an amazing car in itself. It's just, you look at it, and the more you look at it, you can't walk away. You keep looking. It holds your eye. Every line on it is just, and this one's perfect. It looks brand new.
Well, you know what they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder there. So, but think about this, and just let's from a philosophical standpoint, you know, it appeared that we as Americans and car enthusiasts were kind of losing our place in life, and the industry with all the new cars and the iPads and iPhones and the young folks that really are more into iPhones than cars, that our industry might be weakening. But I don't see that at all. I see that now as a strengthening, and in no small part thanks to the Daytona Rising Project and the Daytona International Speedway. I mean, your area has to be popping and buzzing.
It is popping, and now the new thing that's happening, and they have broken ground, is Daytona 1 right across the street. They spent $400 million on the Speedway. Well, they're estimating over $800 million is going to be spent across the street. They've got Bass Pro Shops coming in. They got theater that's already broke ground, and all this is supposed to be open within about a year and a half, 2 years. So the construction hasn't stopped. It just crossed the street.
so if you live in Daytona Beach and you don't like cars, you better move south or north, right?
Well, that's just it. And Daytona Beach, there's an energy here, a new energy that Daytona Rising's created. Too, I got to say, when I drive into the Speedway, it's just, as we rode in this morning, coming in through the Turn 1 tunnel, and you look to your right, and there's that 33-degree banking up above you. That's the star of the show. Sure. I mean, that literally, to me, just the track, just seeing that track and how big it is and how small it makes you feel and how much area there is out there. And then as you come around, you turn around and look back, and here's the stadium, the new, just unbelievable stadium that towers over the track, about 13, 14 stories, and it's just over a mile long, and it's just a beautiful sight in itself. But the track is the star, and that's what the stadium has done, is made the track even more of a star.
Now, folks, listen to what Terry just said. See, and Terry, I don't know if you recognize this and all, but it's not the grandstands. You said stadium. So the whole mindset, thanks to obviously the France family, and thanks to Daytona International Speedway and the executives there, Joey Chitwood III, of course, to handle that helm. There's a new awakening of not only NASCAR racing, but of all types of automotive sports, including the one today, which is the
Spring Turkey Run. And I want to throw a little background on that. People don't understand, why are they having car shows at Daytona International Speedway? Well, the Daytona Racing and Recreational District is running these car shows, and they are the entity that actually owns the ground the Speedway is built on, and the Speedway pays them rent, okay? And Bill France set this up when he built the Speedway. Instead of buying the property, it's sort of like Disney does with, their own taxing district. Well, that taxing district is the size of the Speedway, and the rent and the rent is the taxes. And so the Daytona Racing and Recreational District gets that money and turns around and gets used to the track 2 weekends out of the year, the Thanksgiving and then the last weekend in March. And they cannot use the racetrack for racing. They have to use it for something else. Well, a car show makes great sense, and that's what they do. Now, the funds turn around, and they've got some costs doing these car shows, but whatever they make on top of the $500,000 rent they get from the Speedway, they turn around and put back in the community. We got new turf out of Municipal Stadium that they paid for half of. It was over $1 million, and suddenly there's $500,000 of it paid by the Daytona Racing and Recreational District. Park improvements in Daytona Beach area, just so many things that this Daytona Racing and Recreational District does to help the community. And it's all through the Speedway and the Turkey Run and this entity that really carries it. And the people who do this, it's just amazing what they put together and how much they put together. This old and new theme, I think, sets the tone. I think it's pretty cool to see the old 65 Corvette, and then right next to it a 2016, and just you can see the aerodynamics built into these cars, and even the old ones and the new, and like you say, there's a rejuvenation. You can get a good, sweet muscle car nowadays, brand new out of the showroom, and I think that's putting that perspective right in front of you when you see this at the track.
Folks, on the hotline with us is Terry Sabiston, sports director for WNDB 1150 AM and 93.5 FM, our Car Clinic affiliate in Daytona Beach. And to that end, Mike Multane, if you're listening, and I know that you are, hello, I hope you're doing well. And Mark Bernier, if you're listening, why aren't you listening? It was Mark, Terry, and I have to say this because I always have fond memories during that 2 or 3 month window where Mark was the program director. What just happened to be when I called the station personally and said, I've got a car show I'd like for you to air, Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Well, who is that? Doesn't matter. We're going to talk cars. Well, it sounded like a good fit to me, and it seemed like a good idea to Mark Bernier, and it was a great idea. So we are, and folks, for everyone across the globe watching at Watch Bobby Live and all of our affiliates from Washington State to Texas to California and Northeast as well, WNDB was one of our first. We had 4 stations in our first in 1991 syndication, self-syndication of this network, and we're still there. And that speaks volumes to, number one, the relationship, Terry, that we have with the folks and your listeners, not only around the globe, but right there in Daytona. And it's just these types of conversations and sharing of information and fun stuff about cars and life that really brings it all together. And I want to thank Mark and Mad Dog, and I want to thank you for joining us today on Bobby Likis Car Clinic. And I'll let you get back to the cars.
Well, let me get back, but let me also, the guy who put the 73 Charger there in the old and new display, I found him out there, and he was next to a 73 Roadrunner that didn't look so good. And I talked to the guy. It was a garage find. It has 2,400 miles on it. The only thing he did to it was put tires and change the fluids, and it's out there for sale right now. He said he's got to sell it because everybody tells him you can't clean this up. You've got to keep it this way. Wow. And that's driving him nuts because his display car is the one sitting next to the brand-new Charger, and it's $24,000 for a 2,400-mile 73 Roadrunner.
Wow. Well, somebody will buy the car. Terry, thanks so much for joining us on Bobby Likis Car Clinic today. It's always a pleasure to have you in the house.
Thanks a lot, Bobby. It's always a pleasure to join you from Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, you go. He rocks. And, folks, he really does. Terry is the man. It's just exciting to me. We've produced actually 12 shows or more, 12 I know of, I can remember, from the Daytona International Speedway. Coming up, we have Dave Larson, who is a product manager from Jaguar. I said he was in the queue, so Dave, you stay right there. We're going to come to you after this break, and we're going to hear about the new F-Type SVR Jag. And this is from the New York International Auto Show. So we're going from Daytona Beach, Florida to the New York International Auto Show from the center of the automotive universe, Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Don't touch that dial. When your battery loses its power, you lose your ability to get out and get things done. Summer's especially grueling on batteries due to the extremely high underhood temperature. When it's time to replace your battery, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to help you choose a Superstart battery that's an exact fit for your vehicle. Whether it's a reliable economy, hard-working premium, or a powerful extreme, O'Reilly Auto Parts has a Superstart battery you need at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Stay tuned to Car Clinic today because I'm giving away a $25 gift card, compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts. One lucky Car Clinic listener or follower will be awarded the $25 gift card at the end of the show today. So call now with your car question. Thanks, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. Octane rating measures a fuel's anti-knock index. Higher octanes, like pure ethanol at 113, control damaging engine knock. Drive to ethanolrfa.org for more. In the service bay this week, a 2006 Honda Accord. The vehicle has a check engine light on and is producing lean fuel mixture fault codes. Translation, the engine's air fuel mixture is out of spec and beyond where the onboard computer can make adjustments. After an initial walkthrough, we determined heavy carbon deposits were built up on the intake valves and starting to form on the exhaust. Right now, it's a lean running engine issue. In time, it can also become an engine misfire. The solution? New Fuel Pro Complete from Motormedic. This isn't your everyday fuel system cleaning kit. Fuel Pro Complete cleans both the fuel and the intake side of the system. Most fuel system cleaners only clean through the gas tank. Fuel Pro Complete also cleans through the vacuum line. For newer cars, it cleans the top of GDI engines. For older cars, it tackles traditional fuel system cleaning and pairs it with intake cleaning. Visit FuelProComplete.com for more information, including a demo video and port locator with a list of vehicle makes and models.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
The airlines like to have sales. Summer getaway sales, holiday sales, winter sales. Truth is, at any moment, some airline somewhere is on sale with low fares to great destinations. Travelocity knows exactly what's going on, who's on sale, to where, and when, at over 700 airlines worldwide. We even have this nifty feature that lets you look at a calendar so that you can see exactly the days the great fares are available. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere. AOL keyword, travel.
Hun, guess my temperature.
It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep.
Come on, one guess.
Higher, 98.
Higher.
Higher, 99.
You're getting warmer. Wait, I'm getting warmer.
Cold symptoms keeping you from getting a good night's sleep? Get NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever so you can sleep better to feel better medicine. Use as directed.
One more guess.
100?
Yes. Tell her what she's won, Bob.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Call me with your car questions at 888 Car Clinic. With us on the hotline now from the New York International Auto Show is Dave Larson, Product Manager for Jaguar Land Rover North America. Dave, this is your first time on Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Thanks, Bobby. How are you today?
Just fine, thank you. I know that you're doing well there in the New York International Auto Show. Let's get right to it. This year's show marks the North American debut of the F-Type SVR. And folks, for you out there listening who may not be familiar, SVR means Special Vehicle Racing. The F-Type SVR is not only the first ever Jaguar to wear the SVR badge, but also the fastest production sports car the company's ever made. Dave, tell us a little more about the car's capabilities.
Well, I'll tell you, our team over at Special Vehicle Operations has taken the F-Type R and made it that much better. It is lighter, it is faster, and the performance is even better.
Well, Dave, what are some of the key engineering changes made to the F-Type in order to establish a new performance benchmark within the Jaguar brand with the F-Type SVR?
Well, one of the goals was a top speed for this vehicle, and we achieved 200 miles an hour on the coupe and 195 on the convertible. And in order to achieve that, you need to have function, and that's where you'll see a lot of carbon fiber elements added to the vehicle. It's actually wider and longer. It has special aerodynamics and finished off at the rear with a active wing, which helps with the downforce.
Well, let's talk about Jaguar Land Rover just a bit. How are the brand's next generation of cars going to transform the business, you think, in the United States over the next year?
Well, I'll tell you, it couldn't be more of an exciting time to be part of Jaguar. It took us over 80 years to have a model lineup of 5 products, 2 of which we're going to introduce in all new segments. So this May, we're going to introduce the new XE with a starting price point of $34,900. And then our first sports utility vehicle with the F-Pace, which is going to start at a price of $40,900.
Well, that's a great key point. That's a great figure there. We're talking with Dave Larson, Product Manager for Jaguar Land Rover North America. Dave, the F-Type SVR is Jaguar's fastest, most performance-oriented series production car ever made in Jaguar. How do you go about combining technical performance while maintaining the high-level craftsmanship and design that we all know Jaguar to be?
Well, it has to be functional, so a lot of elements were added. The engine output has been increased 25 horsepower up to 575. To keep that engine cool, we had functioning vents in the hood with larger air intakes in the front bumper to channel the air and cool the engine. We also have 398-millimeter brake rotors, which will help aid in the stopping, because when you're doing 200, you got to make sure you're able to stop it.
I understand that the chassis is just chock full of electronics with everything from the stability control or vector control. Give us the 30,000-foot view of just an overview of the electronics that enhance the driver experience.
Well, what we've done is optimize the engine for key performance, so 575 horsepower, and that's made it to an 8-speed transmission, which has been optimized also for performance. One of the great things about this vehicle is the exhaust. It is a titanium exhaust, which is 32 pounds lighter and delivers an incredible sound.
And I understand there's some carbon fiber tucked in there somewhere as well as an option, correct?
Yes, carbon fiber is available throughout the vehicle, and depending how it's equipped, you could have a vehicle that's about 110 pounds lighter than the F-Type R.
Just a couple of final questions, Dave, and I appreciate your time today from the show there in New York. With the expanding and the latest additions to the newly fully transformed lineup, where is the brand headed?
Well, last year we celebrated Land Rover as the fastest growing brand in calendar year 15. And with the new products we're introducing with Jaguar, I hope we're in a similar position this time next year.
Well, those are lofty goals, and I'm sure that you will meet them. Just as an FYI, I drive an XJL that I had specifically made. It's a one-off, and it is the most gorgeous car I've ever owned. Just one final question for you, Dave, and that is a website where our Car Connect listeners and viewers can get more information.
That would be JaguarLandRover.com.
Great. Dave Larson, Product Manager, Jaguar Land Rover, all about the new Jaguar SVR. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for joining us today, and take care. I'll let you get back to the show.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bobby.
How cool is that now? 575 horsepower out of a Jaguar with an 8-speed transmission. Let's go to Illinois, and then we still have Jim in the queue. We'll be coming to him on the third segment, and to, Jimmy in Mississippi, and we'll take your calls, folks. Remember, I'm giving away an O'Reilly Auto Parts $25 gift card for everyone that calls in with a car question, and you can also message me at Facebook.com as well. Rebecca from Illinois, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you. Thanks for holding.
Your phone number?
Sure.
Or mine?
No.
Hello.
Okay.
So she's been holding so long she doesn't even know we're here. Rebecca. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Are you on a drive-through there? Are you getting a hamburger or something?
No, my husband and I are in the car. We were talking.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Well, how are you today, and what's up?
Well, doing much better than I was a month ago when I called and talked to you. I called because I had a 2011 Nissan Rogue and explained to you the symptoms, and the transmission had gone out, which you had confirmed.
Yes.
And so got the transmission replaced and really listened to what you said, that probably in the future going to start having other things happen. And so we are now actually headed to a dealer to trade in my Rogue for another vehicle, and I wanted to get your opinion on the new baby that's going to be brought home.
And that new baby is?
2016 Mercedes-Benz GLA 250 Matic.
Yes. That is a fabulous car. I will tell you, you guys are right on the money. My daughter's partner in St. Louis wanted to buy a used car. And I said, well, why don't, this is like 4 years ago, and I said, why don't you think about a new car, because you're in business and you do well, you work hard, you work, when you're in business for yourself, you work 24/7. And I said, so why don't you treat yourself to a new car, because it keeps the car absolutely like pristine. And I said, a CLA 250. I never heard of a CLA 250. Well, very few people had it because it was not out at that time. The bottom line is they got one, they love it. When I went to St. Louis, actually O'Fallon, Missouri, which is just north of St. Louis, I think, 40 minutes or so. When I went there, I drove the car and we went to brunch together, and I love it. So you already have your colors picked out, and are you going to get a sport package? Do you know about the sport package?
We're headed to the dealer to pick it up here in about 20 minutes.
Oh.
I'm going with the red outside. I think that's called Jupiter Red. Okay. And the inside is a tan leather.
Oh, I can see it. I'm smiling. And John, let me say this. the CLA, and Mercedes almost let the cat out of the bag here. The CLA had the slab body side of the new, yet to be released S class. Now this is a couple, 3 years ago, I think. And so when I saw that smaller first front-wheel drive car from Mercedes-Benz, I said, that is drop dead gorgeous. And on the curb, it looks like a small S model. Well, lo and behold, about a month later, I saw the sneak preview of the S series, and the CLA and the S series are surely mom and pop, or whatever, how you want to make that analogy. But that is a beautiful car. So Rebecca, you have my email. If not, I'm going to put you back on hold, and Rob's going to give you my email because I want pictures of that vehicle. What's the dealership name? What is it there in Illinois?
We're going to the Mercedes-Benz of Marion, Illinois.
Marion, Illinois. Mercedes-Benz of Marion, Illinois. Well, you tell those folks that they are lucky to have such great customers as you, and you enjoy that new car, and take care of it, and share it with me. When you get in it and you're out for a ride and out about on a Saturday morning, you call and share your new ride next week would be great.
You bet. We'll do that.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I love you guys. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Bobby.
Bye,
Thanks,
John.
Bobby.
Bye. Bye, Rebecca. See, I'd love to meet these folks. I never met, so many people that I talk to. I'm the luckiest guy in the world here because you talk about cars, and I know I can hear John smiling. I can see him smiling in the other seat. And folks, a CLA 250 is the first front-wheel drive car that Mercedes-Benz came out with, and it just dropped dead gorgeous automobile. Now, I mentioned the sport, and I didn't push that, but I hope they are going to get the sports package, because now, although that will push the price up, the sports package and then the headlight option, which I think is about $400 or $600. Anyway, a $30,000 CLA ends up at $41,500 or $42,000 by the time you put the options. But it is a beautiful automobile. It's well made, and it's a Mercedes. And yes, it was the first year of their front wheel drive. So what? I mean, you don't. That's one thing you don't have to worry about in this day and age, is when a manufacturer comes out with a new or a newly designed automobile, you say, well, maybe I'll let it go for a year or so and see how it does. Folks, with the immediate reports that we can get, and true, there are more recalls now. Why? Well, because number one, they use more black boxes that are on multiple makes of or lines of the same make and model automobile, just like the Takata airbag that we all heard about. That's crosses many automotive lines, and so that company sold those to a lot of different manufacturers. The bottom line is, because we have such great communications, and because we have the computers, and because we have real-time, a 6-second society, as I say, and I've mentioned before, we being the automotive industry, the new car, the OEMs and dealerships, can really stay on top of the game much quicker and much faster, and react much more quickly to any problems that we have. Ergo, if there's a problem with a new released automobile, they catch it. They catch it in the first week or the first month or the first 20 days. It's amazing to me. And so for all the reasons that I've mentioned, and to have the first new car that looks different on the block, always get the newest, latest model you can when you're buying a new car. And always stay tuned when these breaks come up, because know that I'm coming back and we're going to talk with Jim from Detroit. Don't touch that dial.
Your car and your life have a lot of moving parts, and your car's battery is what keeps it all going. Here's something to keep in mind. While all batteries may look the same on the outside, it's what's inside that matters. So be sure to choose a battery with power frame technology inside. It's stronger, more durable, and keeps you going longer. That means you can count on a battery with power frame to be there start after start. Here's another reason to feel good about choosing a battery with power frame inside. It's manufactured using the latest sustainable processes. You're moving fast, and you don't want anything to slow you down, especially an unreliable battery. So the next time you need to replace your car's battery, make sure you choose one with power frame technology inside. Look for power frame on the outside, and know there's true strength on the inside.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Waking up can be a chore, but morning's knocking on my front door. Know just what I'll do. Put on a pot of Folgers brew. Mountain grown aroma hits the spot. Helps me give all that I've got. An opportunity to start out smiling and happy. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I'm privileged to be involved with Capstone Adaptive Learning, formerly known as United Cerebral Palsy, for over 25 years. Since 1953, Capstone has provided quality care programs for persons with developmental disabilities like autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and intellectual disabilities. Dr. Sherry White with her team are dedicated to Capstone's clients, and 100% of your contributions stay local to serve those in this community. Go to capstoneadaptivelearning.org to see the difference Capstone makes.
If you're familiar with the Kulsiford section of the newspaper, you probably understand this message quite well. You see, in the Kulsiford section, everything gets abbreviated. Consonants, vowels, prepositional phrases, the very building blocks of our language are thrown right out the window. And that makes it difficult when you're trying to sell your car. You've got a limited amount of space to work with. And by the time you abbreviate the description of your car down to a couple of fragmented sentences, it sounds less like a car and more like a Bluck sedan with sniffed like new condition lemals. No wonder more people are selling their cars through eBay Motors. They can post unlimited text and photo descriptions, and with a nationwide marketplace, they're likely to sell it for more. Plus, both parties can be covered by eBay's Vehicle Protection Program. Buyers are happy, sellers are happy, and no one's abbreviating. eBay Motors, a better way to sell your car.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Give us a call with your car questions at 888 Car Clinic, and I'll put your name in the hat to win a $25 gift card, compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts, coming up a little later in the program today. Better parts, better prices every day. And now we're going to go to Detroit, and our favorite car clinic reporter from Detroit, I wonder if it's still snowing there. Jim, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. What's the weather like today?
Oh, it's bright and beautiful, but it's not high temperatures. We could get up to 60 degrees tomorrow on Easter Sunday.
Well, that sounds like a winner to me. What you have for us today, sir?
Okay, Bobby, what I'm going to talk about, first of all, is the fact that in Ford, Toyota, they're having trouble with rear-end pop-out of the back window. And the people that have that problem where the glass breaks into tiny little pieces and not big sharp ones to hurt you, the dealer's charging $100 to fix it. At this point, there's no investigation proven that either the glass is wrong or the wire that heats the glass for the defroster, and they're asking people to hold on to their receipts and their job number to try to make a claim back on that $1,000. How does this project to the future? If there is something proven, maybe then they're going to offer an unlimited warranty rather than run the cars back if they don't need it, because this is something serious.
Wow. You know, that is very unusual, Jim, for a rear glass to break out. And I've actually broken out one rear glass. If I have time, I'll tell the story later on, but on purpose during an accident. But the bottom line, that glass is very durable, and it's there's a name for the glass that they make the glass and they put it under tension, a surface tension, so that if you scratch one corner, it will literally explode and disintegrate, and not hurting you. That's what they use. They use it for that purpose. But that's unusual. What else did you have for us today as well?
Okay, Bobby. What I have also for you coming up in the near future with the Tesla cars is a phone app which not only opens your car door,
that's cool.
will start the engine of the car, and by another touch on your phone, it puts the car into gear. Now, my question is to that, supposing you didn't fully charge your phone and you went back to get in it during the day you made calls, if you don't have an option for a key option besides that phone app, where are you at? Stranded.
Well, I would imagine if you had the key fob in your pocket, you would always have the override because you walk up to the car, it recognizes you. So I guess if you were to lose your battery in your phone, which certainly happens to all of us and has happened and will continue to happen from time to time, that you just lose that option. I'm sure the car has a safety feature so that if in the middle of some command via phone you lose the connection to the phone, then the car has a safety feature where it chooses the stop option, which is very interesting considering that Google's car in the bus, recently had the crash, which really wasn't much of a crash. The Google car was going 2 miles per hour. The bus was going 15 miles per hour. And the bus driver anticipated the Google car to stop or to stay stopped. And the computer anticipated the bus driver would stop and let the Google car out, and that didn't happen. But overall, it was not a bad crash, and it was just one of the many scenarios about autonomous cars. And as I understand, the study from AAA revealed that some 75% of Americans are afraid of or concerned of, and I'm not sure what the terminology was, autonomous or self-driving automobiles. But, we already have a lot of that and a lot of those technologies in the cars that we drive today, like lane warning and radar, the radar where you can, your adaptive radar control, or your cruise where you follow the car in front of you. There's just a host of features that we have. So that's very interesting. But Tesla, no doubt, I'm surprised we don't have some new and exciting news from Elon Musk side of the world.
Well, they're going to make an SUV. By the way, there was a car passing another car. It was a Tesla car. They were pulling a huge trailer, and they were outspeeding the other car. So that proves that Tesla makes a good car, and you can't beat the torque from an electric car engine.
Well, I agree with you. Well, Sir Jim, I thank you for your call, and I thank you for your report. Very interesting. And again, thanks for waiting. We had a full list of today, a lineup, and still have calls in the queue that we're going to go to. So you have a great week, and as always, a pleasure to have you right here in the center of the automotive universe on Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
It's my pleasure as well, Bobby. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. And folks, the phones are open. Rob will take your call at 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. Put you in the queue, and I will put you on the air. I know that Jimmy was calling in from Mississippi, so if you're still tuned in, we're available to take your call. Folks, Volkswagen failed to reach an agreement with the U.S. on a fix for the diesel engines, and this just happened a little earlier this week at a hearing in San Francisco. A U.S. district judge extended the deadline for VW to submit their plan for getting 600,000 diesel vehicles off U.S. roads to April the 21st, after the car company failed to submit a detailed proposal that the rigged pollution controls used to cheat the emissions standards. So we're going to see that saga continue, but it appears that the EPA is really pressing here and moving forward to try to pressure VW into coming up with some solution. And I'm sure that VW will come up with a solution. I'm also sure that Bosch, in the meantime, is working feverishly on a solution, because it was Bosch that helped them to create this for their prototype. And lo and behold, it ended up on the highways. I wonder how that happened. We'll take a call now. We're going to go to North Carolina. In the mountains of North Carolina is where we're going to go. And then I'll take your call, 888-227-2546. Bill, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic from the mountains, because Rob got here from the mountains of North Carolina. Welcome.
Good morning, Bobby. Appreciate you taking my call.
Appreciate you calling. How's the weather in the mountains of North Carolina?
Very pleasant. 51 this morning, and I think we're on the downhill slide for the summer weather.
Well, I think you're right. I think that we've had a moderate winter. We've had, of course, along the Gulf Coast, we've had a lot of rain. Of course, we live in the tropics anyway, so, you wait in the state of Florida, you wait 20 minutes and the weather will change if you don't like it, which is, so the weatherman can be right or wrong, but if you wait 20 minutes, he's probably going to be wrong. If you wait another 20 minutes, he's probably right on. What can
Tell me about it. I spent 60 years in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, well, then you know all about it, Bill.
Yeah. Bobby, my question is, I've got a 16 Buick LaCrosse, under 1,000 miles. Really no problem, love the car, but it is a flex fuel.
Right.
I guess I want to ask what the difference is mainly, basically, in the build-up of the engine of a flex fuel and a regular, and whether you would buy a GM flex fuel.
I would buy a flex fuel automobile regardless of the manufacturer, so that I would have the option to run a lower priced fuel where it was available. The flex fuel vehicle basically is the same engine. I mean, that's a great question, but just for you to know, Bill, the manufacturers spend less than $100 in the making of a flex fuel vehicle. So there's not a lot of changes to a vehicle to make it a flex fuel vehicle. I will say this, the engine has not been in that car optimized for E85. And you'll hear, well, you know, although the E85 is a less expensive fuel, you get fewer miles per gallon. So what would be really neat for you and for me, if you were to check your gas mileage, which I assume that you do, and then check it with regular E10 or E15, and then run your E85 and see what the miles per dollar are. Not miles per gallon, miles per dollar. And that's
I heard your show on that a few weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Trouble is, I got to drive a full tank of fuel to get to a place to buy flex fuel, so it doesn't make sense.
Well, no, but in the meantime, the Renewable Fuels Association is working feverishly to help aid service stations so they can install the pumps, and you know, these are the flex fuel pumps. So that's a part of our infrastructure that they're building out now. And speaking of infrastructure, you know, people talk about flex fuels, they talk about E15 and E85, and then they talk about hydrogen-based automobiles, hydrogen fuel. The bottom line is you have to have the infrastructure. If you can't find the fuel on every corner at every Circle K or whatever gas station, Tom Thumb, if in our case, then by all means, you're not gonna buy it. Like you said, you got to burn a tank of gas to go find E85. But there is, I don't know if you know this or not, there is on the East Coast an E85 highway that starts that runs some 2,000 miles down the East Coast, and I'm not sure Novozyme, and Novozyme is a company that is an enzyme company, and I won't go into the history because I can't recall it, but I know that they're big on, of course, E85, and we were talking with them about doing a documentary to drive a flex fuel car from the East Coast, Northeast Coast down to Miami and document that ride, and there are stations, of course, at multiple locations. Now, I'm not sure where in the mountains of North Carolina you are, and I'm not sure where that highway is, and I'm not sure what they call it. I wish I could remember, but it's a E85 expressway, or for lack of a better terminology. I'm sure if you Googled it, you could find out, but the bottom line, the gas, then the distribution of E85 is growing, and that's a good thing for us.
Well, that's great. Okay. Now, I love the car. It's under 1,000 miles. It really handles well. Getting around 18 in the mountains here, which is pretty good on I think.
I'll say.
The only trouble I do have, and I'm going to watch this, is that when you pull up to a light, momentarily you'll get a little shudder on the idle, then it'll straighten out. But we'll put a little miles on it and see if that does straighten out itself.
By all means, there could always be an update on the computer. Just like when you get a new computer in your home, the first thing that you do is you plug it in and you download the new software. That's exactly what car makers do, and to that end, some dealerships receive from the OEM, whether it's GM, Ford, Mercedes-Benz, you name it, what's called a stop sale, and that means that they cannot deliver that car from their inventory until they upgrade the software. My car was one of those, and it had an upgraded navigation system before I ever got the automobile, but this navigation changed from the time it left the UK to the time it hit the dealership in Mobile, which is where I bought the car. So
I remember you talking about that.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so much.
Well, you sure sound a lot better this week. I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you, sir. You picked up on that, did you? I do feel better. I'm glad. It's not good. I don't make a good sick guy. I can tell you that right now.
You stay out of cold weather and you don't get sick.
There you go, Bill. Thank you very much, my friend.
Hey, I appreciate your information. Have a good day.
You as well, sir. Appreciate you. Now we're going to take a call from Stan. Stan, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. It's always great to hear from you.
Well, thank you very much. I was just listening this morning, and I thought maybe some people had not heard me rave about your annual inspection that you did on my car that I'm going to give to my granddaughter. And your guys just did an amazing job, spent more time than they should have, and gave me a wonderful list. I got that car ready for my granddaughter now with all the rubber parts replaced, and the tie rod ends and things like that, holes in the boots.
Yes.
And you know that I pay attention to my car. When I change the oil under that thing, I look around everywhere. But this thorough inspection caught stuff that I did not even come close to finding. And I just want to advertise and thank you for doing that.
Well, Stan, I really appreciate that. And to that end, and folks, what we're talking about here is a service that we provide in our service shop. And for those of you who are not familiar, some 50 or 60 hours a week, we operate Bobby Likis Car Clinic Service Pre-Repair that's located in Pensacola, Florida. And we're celebrating 44, but it's 45 years in the business. And we created years ago, and I can't remember how long now, how far back, what's called a PPI, or a pre-purchase vehicle inspection, and we've saved a lot of people a lot of money. We've upset a few dealers because they think we're picking a car apart, but really we are not. We're just reporting what we find with a set of educated, master ASE certified technician eyes. Now, to that end, the PPI works so well. I said, well, what about our customers who are driving their cars that have 50 or 60 or 90,000 miles on them, and the car is running well? We've serviced it, but it's been a year since it's had a good set of inspection. So then, Stan, that's where our annual inspection came from, and that's what you were referring to that we performed on your car. And folks, this gentleman has raced automobiles. He knows automobiles, and we found things that he didn't see, and yet that's his personal car that he's getting ready for his granddaughter. To that end, yesterday was a first for us, Stan. We have another great customer, Dave and Carolyn, and they came in with a Jeep, and we're concerned that this car is getting older and it's staying in the shop too long. So we just put an evaporator core and a heater core in the car, and they're going to bring the car back in 2 weeks. They're thinking about whether to keep the car or sell it. Here's what we're going to do for ourselves. We are going to perform our own annual inspection on our customer's car, and we're not going to tell the technician why. We're just going to give it to him, and he's going to think it's for the customer, and we're going to compare that with our records of service on this car to see how well we've done and in what condition that car is in, so we can help the customer make the decision whether to keep the car, hold them, or fold them. I think that's the coolest thing. I mean, you talk about real service. I'm proud of that, and it was an idea that just occurred yesterday. We're out of time. Stan, thank you so much for your compliment and for your trust in Bobby Likis Car Clinic. I appreciate it. And
You're
folks,
quite welcome.
thank you. I appreciate you're tuned in. Remember, stick around. Another great hour coming up. Like us, you'll love us.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
The relationship with your vehicle is about trust. You trust in your car or truck to get you to work or play. So when your vehicle needs to be repaired, make sure you trust the parts your technician uses to get your vehicle going again. With over 100 years of OE expertise, Delphi has earned your trust. Delphi supplies OE automotive technologies to the world's top 25 vehicle manufacturers. Delphi engine management expertise helps deliver improved emission control, fuel economy, and drivability. In fact, Delphi is the first and only OE manufacturer to create an all-makes replacement option for mass airflow sensors. Delphi offers mass airflow sensor replacement solutions for over 95% of vehicles on the road today, and Delphi's proprietary sensing elements provide highly accurate airflow readings to the electronic control unit over a wide range of ambient temperatures. For over a century, Delphi has had a passion for making the parts that help vehicles worldwide run better, longer, and more efficiently. Learn more at DelphiAutoparts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Bob, what's new?
Last month I'm in Africa. When this wildebeest charges me, we butt heads and he's history. After I pull my guide from the jaws of an alligator, I dig into some beef jerky. I get heartburn. I take out my Rolaids as I'm fighting off a wild boar. In under 10 seconds it starts working. Then the boar is bye-bye. My heartburn's gone.
Rolade starts working in under 10 seconds? You expect me to believe that?
It's true. Rolade starts neutralizing acid in under 10 seconds. ROLAIDS spells relief. Use as directed.
While Johnny Kim was getting ready for the first customers of the day, someone else was looking at larger space for his growing business. At 3 o'clock, while the Curtis family was watching their daughter's soccer game, someone else was walking a prospective tenant through one of their apartment buildings. And while Carmen Delabar was preparing for a fashion show, someone else met with an appraiser about her investment property. You've got a life. We let you live it. We're realtors. Real estate is our life.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1 minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Maury White. Okay, let's get started on this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. So sit back and take a ride with me. And if you have a car question or a car concern about gas mileage, about oil, about tires, about more about how to communicate with your local service shop. That's really why I'm here. I can give you buzzwords, and we'll give you buzzwords that when you go to see your local automotive repair shop, whether it's in Washington, the state of Washington, or in D.C., or whether it's in California or on the Gulf Coast of Florida, you will have some buzzwords and you know the right questions to ask, just like when you go to a doctor. It's those questions that you don't ask that really are the dumb ones. So if you have a car question, never think that a car question is a dumb one. The one that's dumb is the one not asked. So Rob will take your call at 888 Car Clinic, put you in the queue, and I will put you on the air. This segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. When it's time to replace your battery, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to help you choose the Super Start battery that's an exact fit for your vehicle. Whether it's a reliable economy, hardworking premium, or powerful extreme, O'Reilly Auto Parts has a Super Start battery you need at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. 888 Car Clinic. Your calls when I come back. 888-227-2546. This vehicle maintenance spotlight is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Are your brakes making a high-pitched screeching sound? Do they seem less responsive? It's probably time for some new pads and rotors. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Spring Brake Deals event. You can take advantage of O'Reilly's Do It Right rebate and get a $20 gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. Offer ends March 29, 2016. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Spring Brake Deals event. Take advantage of O'Reilly's Do It Right rebate and get a $20 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's an email from a Car Clinic listener. David writes, "What's the amber light on my dash? It looks like a cork pointing at an angle to a picture on the side of the car. This light has been on and off for about a year now, and I think it's time I check it out. Well, David, no time like the present. The light indicates a detected failure that could allow gasoline fumes to evaporate into the air, costing you money in lost fuel and polluting the air. Most common failure that trips the light? A small evap leak, or in other words, loose fuel cap. Besides being tight, the cap must also be in good condition. Fuel caps don't last forever, and poor quality caps don't work well from the beginning. Stant makes a large line of fuel caps that will last a very long time and ensure proper sealing of the system. Stant fuel caps are the only aftermarket caps to include all the safety features of the original equipment cap. Visit Stant.com or ask your local parts store for a Stant gas cap by name.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Another lending success story from LendingTree.com.
Car dealers like playing games. They play percentage points, they play markups, but I don't like playing with my money. So I got my auto loan through LendingTree.com. I filled out one simple form, a marketplace of banks and lenders competed over it, and I got 4 offers back within hours. After all, the car buying game is a lot easier to win when you're holding all the cards.
LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win. For additional information and state license disclosures, please visit our website located at LendingTree.com.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a face. And Regency Hospice delivers more faces to you and your loved one when life matters most. Faces of nurses, nursing assistants, social workers, and chaplains. Regency's skilled, compassionate professionals deliver comfort and individualized care. When that time of life comes to you, Regency Hospice will be there for you. Go to RegencyHospice.com for more, including Hospice for Heroes Veterans Recognition Program.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, let's get started. We'll take your calls. Rob will. They'll put you in the queue at 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. And we'll also put your name in the hat for a prize that we're going to give away this hour during today's show. As I mentioned, it's a $25 gift card. So if you call with your car questions, you'll have an opportunity to win a $25 gift card. Compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. And now, just another reason to love O'Reilly Auto Parts, a $25 gift card. Nice way to jumpstart spring and soon summer. I want to thank O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'll announce the winner at the end of this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. So call now with your car questions, and we'll put your name in the hat. 888-227-2546. Rob will take your call and put you in a queue, and I will put you on the air. I have some information for you with regard to auto insurance discounts. I think this is kind of I don't know about you, but one insurance company advertises, or they all advertise, that they'll beat each other's price. It reminds me of cell phone carriers. I mean, it's a very competitive world out there, and of course, you know, how often do you jump ship? I think that's really what a lot of the companies count on. I mean, we're still with the same carrier that we have been for a long time, but I know that soon I'm going to be jumping ship because I can save some dollars, some serious dollars. So, you know, you don't get locked in. Don't let yourself get locked in. And even those of you and those of us, including yours truly, who are locked in, perhaps you can maybe unlock yourself by going to in other words, keep your options open. So I want to share this with you because it's something that I don't know if I've ever actually shared this on the air before. It's about auto insurance discounts, and it's information that may save you some money. So it's a good time of the year to review your auto insurance expense. Insurance companies do offer discounts, but often you have to ask for them. Typically, auto insurance discounts fall into 3 discounting qualifying categories. 3 categories. So just, you know, you've got a pen, you can of course write this down. If not, you can record it, or you can go to our website or iTunes and listen to YouTube. I mean, there's ways that you can catch the program. The first of the 3 qualifying categories is under the vehicle. The vehicle you drive, if it includes and has passenger side airbags, that most do these days, anti-lock brakes, and alternative fuels. So like an E85, a flex fuel. So if you drive a flex fuel new GM car, then you qualify possibly for, you're certainly in one of the qualifying categories. Number 2 category is the policy itself. If you bundle the home and auto and multiple vehicles. Now, I already do that. So I know that that does work. I just don't know that I've revisited that. So I plan to revisit mine because I have cars, multiple cars, and my home all with the same carrier. And the third qualifying category is the driver. That would be you or me or whomever. Accident-free or good student, defensive driving, low mileage, auto club, and being over 50. Well, I qualify there. So there are ways that you can save money on insurance. And let me give you a site so that you can get more facts. It's called the DMV, that's for Department of Motor Vehicles, dmv.org/insurance. So just, I guess if you just remember that, dmv.org/insurance, and read about what I just shared with you. I'm remiss if I didn't tell you that I've had this cheat sheet on my desk for about a month now, and I said, well, it's info for fun and for save your callers and listeners some money. And so I've just now taken the time to share that with you, but I think it's very important. And if you do end up saving money, I'd love to hear from you. Again, dmv.org/insurance to see how your car or you or your category and what category you qualify for a discount for your automotive insurance. That's way cool, I think. And also, we have in the queue Ram, who has a 96 Jaguar SJ6. We're going to be talking with him. We also in queue are going to be coming up with from the New York International Auto Show, talking with Todd Christensen, who's going to tell us a little bit about the Camaro. But that's in the next segment of the hour. We expect that call at any minute. In the meantime, we are giving away the $25 gift card this hour. So now's the time to get your call in. Compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts. The number, 888-227-2546. Rob will take your call and put you in the queue, and I will put you on the air. Let's go to the air and talk with Ram. Ram, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, sir.
Love your show. Great information.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that vote of confidence, and it always feels and sounds good to get that reassurance that I'm doing some good here for someone and for a lot of people.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know already, I have a 1996 Jaguar XJ6 4.0 liter engine.
Yes, sir.
And I'm having problems with the ECU. It's got to be either replaced or rebuilt. And I wanted to know your suggestion, get your input. I would like to replace, but I think the price of the unit is kind of prohibitive.
Well, there's no question. There's no question. If you can have that unit ECU, there probably are 30 boxes. Let's see, it's the 96 model. They're probably not 30 boxes. Well, there could be 25 black boxes in that automobile. I mean, it's a 96. If it were an 06 or later, it would surely have more. In fact, a 2000 model year automobile, which is only 4 years younger than your car, had a million lines of code, and I've talked about this before on the air. Wow. But today's cars have 100 million lines of code, which is I can't even imagine that, because an F-14 fighter jet, as I was shared with one of my listeners, and as memory serves me, has somewhere between 25 and 30 million lines of code that run that whole airplane, and yet an automobile has 100 million lines of code. Now, getting back to your 96 Jag, I would feel comfortable with a reman ECU from a reputable company. So that's wherein lies. In other words, we look for, and I see, well, what are we looking for this week? We're looking for, we have a customer who has a BMW that needs a rear drive shaft. It has 134,000 miles. It's an SUV model. It's an 05, and we can buy one from the original franchise dealer and it's very expensive, and it's an OE part, but we're looking for a supplier for that particular car. And one of my technicians, Guy Rayner, who is an ASE certified technician, said there's a company in I think he said North Carolina that at one time when he worked with another service company, they bought from this company. So I'm looking all the time, being in the independent service business, for a way to offer and provide my customers quality parts that I know have quality at a better price. That's not always possible. And quite candidly, without getting on a soapbox here, I will share with our customers, don't shoot the messenger. It's your car. You drove the new off of it. You have to put some new back on it. And still, we're the ones that end up sharing what it's going to take to fix a particular part of an automobile. So I said all that to say to you that you want to make sure that, number one, you're dealing with a company that understands and the philosophy and lives by the code of ethics. And by the way, that code of ethics is important. We're a member of the Automotive Service Association. We're also, this week, received our Blue Seal, and it came in by FedEx. We received our Blue Seal plaque, which means that we have a code of ethics and we follow a code of ethics. And I won't go through that whole litany except to tell you that when you deal with a shop that is a Blue Seal approved shop, and we are also a AAA approved shop, then you're dealing with a company that has been in the trenches and understands the business and proven over the years the solid reputation that they're there to serve you, and they stand behind their work and all the other things that are important. Now, I said all that to say this. It's okay for you to buy a reman ECU if you buy it through a service company that will stand behind it. My concern, and only concern I have, is if you need an ECU, what else does the car need? Because you have to replace that ECU to get to the next step. And therein lies my only concern, my main concern, not the only one, but my main concern. You understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah, well, so I had a mechanic look at it. He told me what it was. He told me, as a matter of fact, he took the part out. I tried to get it in the local salvage, but nobody has it.
Right.
And I was thinking about rebuilding, but I have no idea where to go for the rebuilding. You know any companies that rebuild these things?
Well, what I'll do is I'll put you back on hold, and Rob will get your email address and your contact information, and I'll turn this over to my general manager, or I'll look into it at the first of the week. And folks, in the meantime, 888 Car Clinic is the number. Phones are open. Your turn next after the break. When your battery loses its power, you lose your ability to get out and get things done. Summer's especially grueling on batteries due to the extremely high underhood temperature. When it's time to replace your battery, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to help you choose a Superstart battery that's an exact fit for your vehicle. Whether it's a reliable economy, hard-working premium, or a powerful extreme, O'Reilly Auto Parts has a Superstart battery you need at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Stay tuned to Car Clinic today because I'm giving away a $25 gift card, compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts. One lucky Car Clinic listener or follower will be awarded the $25 gift card at the end of the show today. So call now with your car question. Thanks, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm Bobby Likis, calling all technicians with 20 facts about ethanol. For ethanol by the numbers, drive to carclinicnetwork.com/20 facts about ethanol, or drive to ethanolrfa.org. In the service bay this week is the 2012 Kia Optima. Its owner says the car is sluggish, especially on cold startups. Our diagnosis? A tremendous buildup of carbon on the backside of its intake valves. This can happen with gasoline direct injection, or GDI, engines, as fuel is not being sprayed on the backside of intake valves. The mist of gasoline can actually help keep intake ports clean. So what can you do? Use new Fuel Pro Complete from Motor Medic. Fuel Pro Complete works on both GDI and PFI, or port fuel injection, engines. Dealerships can charge $100 for this service, but Fuel Pro Complete from Motor Medic costs a fraction of that. Fuel Pro Complete treats both the air intake and the fuel system, and it's easy to use. You don't need to unscrew any air intakes or worry about harming sensors. Visit FuelProComplete.com for more information, including a demo video and port locator with a list of vehicle makes and models. That's FuelProComplete.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
From Geico Auto Insurance.
When calling Geico to switch your car insurance, you will not need acetaminophen, naproxen, indomethacin, ibuprofen, a cold compress, an on-call acupuncturist, or any other pain remedy. In 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more. If it were any more painless, you could do it in your sleep, which is theoretically possible since we offer complete 24-hour service. Call 1-800-947-AUTO, 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
Some original thinking by Starbucks barista Frank Botex.
What I love most is getting customers to smile in the morning. Starbucks is just a place to come and relax, kick your feet back. I mean, it's a second home. Starbucks is now in the grocery store, and what better way to just become your own personal barista at home? You go to the grocery store, pick up some coffee, take it home, let the aroma take over your body.
Your favorite Starbucks coffee, at grocery, at home, at last.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Great show today. Exciting things happening right here, right now on Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Call 888 Car Clinic and I'll help you solve your car challenges. But first, I have Todd Christensen, Camaro Marketing Manager, with us on the hotline from the New York International Auto Show. Todd, glad to have you back in the house.
Yeah, glad to be here. A lot of exciting things going on with Camaro these days.
Well, that's what I understand. In fact, I hear that the 2017 ZL1 is poised to challenge the most advanced sports coupe in the world in any measure with unprecedented levels of technology, refinement, track capability, and straight-line acceleration. Share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers what makes this Camaro so special.
Yeah, well, first of all, this is definitely the most advanced, the most powerful, the fastest Camaro we've ever built. It's the lightest car we've built so far. It's off the 6th generation platform, right? So it's already 200 to 300 pounds lighter. With that amount of horsepower, obviously the power to weight ratio is going to make it amazing acceleration. But we didn't stop there. We want to make sure that this car handles well on the track. So it's really meant to do drag racing. It's meant to go out on the road course. But then it's got all the creature comforts, so it's a very comfortable daily driver. So it's basically your do-everything Camaro.
Well, normally, that's an oxymoron to have a drag car and a road car and then have a nice car that you can go to pick up the corner groceries for. That's unusual. What differentiates this Camaro from a similarly powered Corvette?
Well, I tell you, this, first of all, it's obviously a 2+2, so, different configuration. But we've got a couple of different options from a powertrain standpoint. So we have now new, first use ever of the GM's 10-speed automatic transmission. So you can get that or the 6-speed manual. So we get some options there. It comes in coupe or convertible. But the good news is with our performance lineage at Chevy, we were able to share some technology. So there are things like magnetic ride suspension, electronic limited slip, some of those things that we use across some of our top performance cars that really hone this thing in to make sure that it's capable both, as we said, going straight or taking turns.
That's amazing, especially that electronically controlled limited slip. We're talking with Todd Christensen, Camaro Marketing Manager from the New York International Auto Show. Todd, acceleration for the ZL1, as I understand, is delivered with a new supercharged 6.2 V8, estimated at, as you said, 640 horsepower, and either the 6-speed manual transmission with active rev matching or, and this is where I'm really interested, the all-new 10-speed automatic. Give me and our Car Clinic listeners and viewers an overview of the automatic transmission. Is this the Camaro ZL1's first application?
It is. In fact, this is GM's first application of this transmission, the 10-speed automatic. Over the next couple of years, it'll roll out to other models, and we'll get into that, in the future. But we're really excited, and what a perfect match for this, too. The benefit of the 10-speed is really to maintain the optimal RPM levels as you go through the gears, right? Especially that's great on a road course as you're, entering and exiting turns. Having that amount of torque that we already have, 640 foot-pounds of torque, and then having just the perfect gear spacing with those 10 speeds just makes it a magnificent car on the track.
Will that transmission, this may be premature, but will that transmission, Todd, be carried over into other lines of GM products?
Yeah, we're by the 2018 model year, we expect to have that in up to 8 different models. So it's definitely going to be something that we will roll out into the future. The other cool thing about it in Camaro is, the shifts are lightning fast, and it's either an automatic mode or you can manually shift it with paddles on the steering wheel. But it's, this is DCT level of transmission shift, so it's an amazing piece.
It is, and quite candidly, there's no one that can use a clutch and pull a gear as quickly as you can use a paddle shifter. I'm really excited about that car. Let's talk about the new Camaro line finally. Sounds like you really have something for everyone with all styles of driving. Give us a little overview of the Camaro lineup.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we have a very wide range of customers. So we have everything from, more of the entry-level performance car, which is our 2-liter turbo. That's efficient, 31 miles per gallon, but yet it's still 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds. So for those that want performance but want some efficiency, that's it. Then we've got the 3.6-liter V6 on up to the Camaro SS at 455 horsepower with the LT1, and then now the range-topping ZL1. So we've got basically every flavor of performance, from entry all the way up to supercar status.
The ZL1, one final question, when will that hit the showroom floors, or when can it be ordered?
Ordering this fall, and it'll hit the floors towards the end of the year.
Sounds like a winner to me in all respects, no pun intended. Finally, Todd, a website where our listeners and viewers can get more information.
Absolutely, yeah. Chevy.com/Camaro.
Got it. I can't wait. I want to drive one of those cars. Todd, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the show. I cannot wait to see that automobile with a 10-speed automatic and all that 640 horsepower. Thanks so much for joining us today and taking time out of your show there.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks so much.
How cool is that now? 10-speed transmission. It's unbelievable. And, folks, he mentioned, I don't know if you caught this or not, DCT level. What does that mean, DCT level? That's dual clutch transmission level. He didn't say it was a DCT, though. And for those of you who are not familiar with a dual clutch transmission, imagine this. You have a 10-speed transmission. You have two transmissions in one, and you have an inside shaft and an outside shaft. And one outside shaft, or inside, it doesn't matter. Let's call it left and right. You have a left side that's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's gears 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. On the other hand, the right side would have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So whenever you're in one, that clutch is hooked up to transmission number one. To gear number one. Also, simultaneously, the other clutch is hooked up to gear number two. Remember now, you've got two different transmissions, but you've got one clutch that has an inner and an outer hookup. So you've got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 2 is engaged when 1 is engaged. But you don't select the clutch for the 2 until you push the paddle shifter. And then electronically, that automatically, that clutch for 1 is released and goes to 2. Well, as quickly as 1 is released, 2 catches. And when that happens, you're in second gear, just that quickly. It's unbelievably fast. Well, when you're in second gear, guess what? Number 3 is connected, but you're still in second. And so that same clutch, dual clutch, releases the second gear, and then number 3 takes over. And then 5, the 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up and down a paddle shifter. It's just amazing, and I do want to drive, and I do intend to drive one of those new Camaros with, what does he say, 640 horsepower. It's unbelievable. Rob will take your call at 888 Car Clinic if you have a question, or if you know what a DCT transmission, or if you really care what it is. But if you're a car guy or a girl, you'd know what that is. It's just going to be unbelievable. I can't wait to see that car on the showroom floor. And I'm not necessarily a GM. I don't drive a GM car. I never owned a GM car. But I will tell you, the new Corvette is very well put together. And I certainly never was a Corvette person, but I like the new Corvette. I find myself, feeling strange making those statements, but it's true. And mainly because of the refinement in chassis and horsepower and miles per gallon. And you say, wait a minute, now the horsepower and miles per gallon, that's kind of an oxymoron, but it's not. It's really not. Mutually exclusive? No, not at all. Because those transmissions like the Camaro, 640 horsepower, but it's had a 10-speed transmission. So the reason that multiple gears, and you're hearing about the car I drive has an 8-speed, the reason that you're hearing so much about multiple transmission gears, or transmission with multiple gears, is that you keep the engine in the sweet spot. Now, Todd didn't say anything about the sweet spot, but he said keep that engine in RPM on the road course where it like to be. Well, if you're jogging or if you're riding a bike, there's a certain sweet spot that your body becomes accustomed to, that you're comfortable with, and you could run that way all day long. Maybe you bump it up just a notch, but you could really, really stand that pace and continue to match that pace. Well, and that's where you would deliver the most performance from your body and on a continual basis. Well, an engine is the same way, and it's not about horsepower. What we're talking about here is not about horsepower. We're talking about the torque, because that's where MPG comes in. So if say the horsepower was at 7,000 RPM, where it makes its maximum horsepower, the torque of that engine would come on at 2,500 RPM, and it would fall out at 3,500 or 4,000 RPM. So you want that engine to stay in that torquey horsepower range. Scratch that. You want that engine to stay in that torquey range or its sweet spot, so that engine can deliver the most twisting, turning of the rear wheels with the least amount of fuel. How do you do that? If you're going 50 miles an hour and the engine is turning X RPM, how do you go 70 and make it turn the same X? You shift gears. And the taller the gear, or the higher the gear, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the taller the gear, then the fewer the RPMs and the higher the road speed. So at 2,000 RPM in first gear, let's see, at 20 miles an hour in first gear, you're turning 5,000 RPM. But at 20 miles per hour in 10th gear, you're idling. Actually, you'd be stuttering, because you wouldn't even be idling. You'd be turning less than idle. So it's all about, if you think about it, riding a 10-speed bike, and your legs telling you, depending on the terrain that you're riding over, your legs tell you when to upshift and when to downshift. And of course, your eyes as well give you fair warning. But the bottom line is, that's what multiple gear transmissions deliver to you when you think about buying a new car. And I've had a lot of people ask me, in fact, recently, they're looking at used cars. And they say, well, what do you recommend? And here's what the normal conversation goes. Oh, by the way, we're giving away a $25 gift card, compliments of O'Reilly Auto Parts, in today's end of this broadcast. Better parts, better prices every day. You call in now at 888 Car Clinic. We'll put your name in the hat, and at the end of this hour, we're going to draw a winner for the $25 gift card for O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's a nice way to jumpstart spring and soon summer, and I want to thank O'Reilly Auto Parts. So the bottom line is, we were asked, and I'm asked quite often, I'm thinking about buying a used car. And Bobby, I'm thinking maybe a car that's a couple of years old or so, maybe 3, maybe with 30,000 or 40,000 miles on it, or maybe a 4-year-old car, because that's where the budget comes in, a 4-year-old car, and I'll find a 4-year-old with fewer miles on it. And let's just say that the average miles is 15,000 miles a year. So keep that number in your mind. Car number 1, 15,000. That's a year old. Car number 2 is 2 years old, has 30,000 miles. 3 years old has 45,000 miles. So which is the best buy for you? The 3 or 4-year-old with 60,000 miles. So is it a 4-year-old with 50,000 or 30,000 versus a 2-year-old with 30,000 or 40,000? When I come back, I'll share with you some different news that you may not know. The relationship with your vehicle is about trust. You trust in your car or truck to get you to work or play. So when your car needs to be repaired, make sure you trust the parts your technician uses to get your vehicle going again. With over 100 years of OE expertise, Delphi has earned your trust. Delphi supplies OE automotive technologies to the world's top 25 vehicle manufacturers. Take ignition systems. Manufacturing more than 23 million ignition coils every year, Delphi uses wire with tolerances that are tighter than standard industry practice to ensure winding consistency. And Delphi's advanced magnetic design and modeling capabilities result in a more efficient coil design, helping deliver optimum engine performance, exhaust emission, and fuel economy. That's better for your car car, better for the environment, and better for you. For over a century, Delphi has had a passion for making the parts that help vehicles worldwide run better, longer, and more efficiently. Learn more at DelphiAutoparts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
You can call them used. You can call them previously driven. You can call them anything you want. The point is somebody, maybe even a dozen somebodies, owned the car before you did. And before you put down your hard-earned dollars for the car, you deserve to know exactly where it's been. Get a vehicle history report from Carfax.com. They'll give you the real history of any used car. Visit CARFAX.com or ask your dealer for a Carfax report. Don't buy a used car without Carfax.
I, Dennis Walker, pledge allegiance to the roof. I know it'll be clean. I know it will be comfortable. And I know that if the phone rings when I'm in the shower, I can just let it ring. For I have voicemail. Red Roof Inn, one room, under budget, with free cable and local calls for all.
98% of Red Roof guests are so satisfied with their visit, they plan to come back. Now that's not just loyalty, that's allegiance. For reservations, call 800-RED-ROOF.
We're a land of cynics. We don't believe anything anymore. You know why? Because we've been told we've won $1 million, that it's new and improved, that it slices and dices, that our favorite singer is still alive, that we'll be prosecuted if we cut off the tags, and of course that everything is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So when we hear the words customer service, we don't believe it. Travelocity isn't surprised if you're a little skeptical when they say they have excellent customer service, and that there's actually a pleasant face behind this website, a living, breathing person with a supercharged computer full of answers. Someone who's willing to help when you get lost, and most of all, someone that will actually pick up the phone when you call with a question or a concern. Customer service is just another example of how Travelocity puts you in control of travel. Chances are you'll never have to use it, but it's good to know it'll be there if you need it. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. I want to shout out to all independent service shop owners, chain stores, and dealerships across the nation who are in the service business. Social media. And it's a given, and gosh, I can't tell you folks how many emails I get, offers, and proposals I get from aftermarket companies that say, we can help you grow your business. I mean, everybody can help you grow your business better than you. I'm sure that there are companies out there that specialize in particular growth of business and exposure and getting your customers. I'm not sure that that's worth the price that you have to pay. But I do know that social media is here with us, and it's here to stay, and it's growing. And I want to just take this opportunity to share with you that about a year or so ago, I won't say it's a year, well, I will say about a year ago, we had some 40,000 views on our Google Plus site. And Kevin, if you remember, that's about right. Yesterday, our COO, our Chief Operating Officer, told me that our page views on Google Plus were 206,470. And that is because we use social media, but we use it to educate folks, and you are liking it. So whoever's following us out there and whoever's visiting us on Google Plus is a real plus for us, and I'm really proud of that because, number one, there's a lot of work that goes into that you don't know about. You just see a page view come up and you see a picture of a car, and we had, like, for instance, a Toyota Tundra that we did a starter on. You had to take the intake manifold, the lungs of the engine, off of the car to gain access to the starter motor. And I'll tell you, as a technician, you better know that you have to dismantle the engine. You better know before you dismantle the engine that when you do give that price quote to a customer, that's going to take that's what it takes to fix that automobile. And so to that end, we had an idler tensioner for a Lexus that came in yesterday, and that car is coming back Monday. And to get to the idler tensioner on this Lexus, we have to remove the front clip of the automobile. Now, that's easy to say, but I'm talking about the whole front end of the car and the air conditioner compressor and lines and hoses and covers. And it's an unbelievably complicated job just to get to a tensioner for a belt. But if we don't do it, the owner, it's got 100,000 plus miles on this car, and so it's worth spending the money, but it's really noisy, especially when you turn the AC on. So I wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to let you know that it's important that you follow us on Pinterest, or at least take a look on Pinterest, because I often tell you what's happening in my shop, but now you can catch a glimpse of the work that my technicians do. You check out the new Pinterest board, and it's on pinterest.com/Bobby Likis, in the shop with Bobby Likis. Again, the patient of this week was a 2009 E250 Ford van with 224,000 miles. Our ASE certified master technician, Johnny Bars, was the automotive physician, and the symptom was a check engine light reduced MPG. And he diagnosed it as a PO, well, I won't give you all this, Lean Bank 1 and Lean Bank 2 codes. Lean fuel mixture indication in exhaust caused the computer fuel control to richen the mixture, decreasing the miles per gallon. So the bottom line, the computer added fuel as shown by the fuel trim, and so the treatment was, he repaired this vehicle. To see how he repaired it, you have to go to Pinterest.com. I won't give you that. It's Reality Auto Service, but just go to Pinterest.com/Bobby Likis for more. Okay, enough of that. Younger car versus more miles. Oh, I'm sorry. Younger car. This is used cars. And this is from yours truly. And this is a revelation over the past year or two from my years in the business. Do you buy, when you're looking at a used car, a younger car with more miles or an older car with fewer miles? And those mileage numbers are 15,000 miles per year. So if you bought a 2-year-old car that had 42,000 miles, remember now, 2 years old should have 30,000. Should you buy a 2-year-old car with 42,000 miles, or a 3.5-year-old car that should have 52,000, but you found a 3.5-year-old car that only has 38,000 miles? So a 3.5-year-old with 38,000 versus a 2-year-old with 42,000. And the answer, what's the best buy? You buy the younger car with the more higher mileage. Mileage does not hurt an automobile. Age damages automobiles today. So when you opt to buy a used car, buy the youngest one that you can, even if it has higher miles, because it will have a better computer system, it will be more advanced, and it will have any recalls that have been performed or asked for it. So your chances are getting a better car that has more technology and safety features is 2 years better. And you know, a lot can change in 2 years. Let's go to Washington. And Victor, thank you so much for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Always great to hear from the state of Washington.
Thanks, Bobby. You were talking about that 10-speed transmission?
Yes, sir.
And you have the two clutches. One clutch is in, the other one's out. It would have to be that way. You have two gears in at the same time, I suppose. Huh?
Yes, you do. And now understand what Todd Christensen from GM just told me on the air was that it was a dual clutch transmission level. So that doesn't mean that the GM 10-speed transmission is a true dual clutch. So I'm not saying that it is the dual clutch. He said it's dual clutch level, which means that it matches the instantaneous shift ability of a dual clutch. But let's move back to a dual clutch. Imagine that you've got two transmissions in one, and so how do you use the same clutch assembly even though you have two clutches in the same assembly? You see, you have to have one shaft that goes through, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, you have an outer diameter shaft. Think of a pipe. You got a pipe with a smaller pipe in the middle, and the outer pipe is hooked to transmission gears 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and the inner pipe is hooked to 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10.
Right,
So,
I understand. Yeah,
yes,
okay, yeah. So it just moves back and forth is what it's doing.
Well, it doesn't move back. Well, the gears are shifted electronically with motors inside the transmission.
I mean, the clutch would have to move back to
No, because they're two clutch plates.
It's got two clutch plates.
Yes,
well, it's a double clutch then.
It's a double clutch, dual clutch transmission.
Well, I thought maybe you were saying to me it was one clutch facing that that went forward and hit the littler round,
No,
and then
because
it
it's
moved
too
back
much
and hit
mass.
the bigger round.
No, it's too much mass to move. You want as little mass as possible. So you got a dual clutch, which means you have two clutches that are one's engaged, the other one's not, but they're all under one hub, but they're electronically controlled. So you've got one inner shaft that is driven, let's say, for first gear, and then to go to second gear, that inner shaft releases. Remember, second gear is already engaged, but because the clutch is not engaged, I mean, if you had both clutches engaged at the same time, it'd lock the transmission up.
You got two shafts into the transmission from a single clutch.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Well, no, from a dual clutch. From a dual clutch, but it's the same on the same plane.
Right. Isn't that something?
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
And then inside the transmission, every time you have one in gear, but it's idling, and that's an electronic, computer-controlled.
Yes.
Hydraulic pressured clutch that puts that one in gear, and then it lets out on the other
yes,
one
sir.
when it goes.
Yes, sir. Isn't that fabulous?
And now that's a lot of, but it's all computer controlled, and it's all electronically controlled inside the transmission, inside where all the oil is.
That's correct.
So those solenoids electronically, they're got to be oil-proof and able to operate in the oil.
That's correct. That's correct. And to that end, a variable cylinder, where you have displacements go from 8 to 4 cylinder, it has hydraulics and it has solenoids inside the engine that control that. Now there are. Let me take that. Well, yeah, no, they're inside the engine. The variable camshafts use solenoids that are inside the transmission that direct flow to another piston that directs oil. So the bottom line is you have to have very clean oil, and you have to use, like if it calls for 020, you better use 020 because you're flowing oil through a tiny orifice that controls the valve timing of an engine. And these are all things that are, people don't know. If you're not in the business, Victor, this is magic. It's like a dash. You punch a button on the air conditioner and the HVAC does everything you want it to do. But behind that is a maze. To take one apart, evaporator core and dash apart, which we just did this week on 2 different vehicles. It's unbelievably complicated. But yeah, getting back to the dual clutch level of the new Camaro with the 640 horsepower paddle shift. Now, if you put it in the automatic mode, it's going to shift automatically according to your foot and pressure and load and RPM and road speed. But you can also put it in manual and you can control it with the paddle shifters. Then you become the computer.
Huh.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Now with all that stuff, and you're talking about you have to take the front end of a car off to get to some little thing you should be able to get right too.
Yes, sir.
Is this going to become so expensive that what's that going to do? I mean, that's all got to be more expensive. Are the how much expense and how often?
Well, those are all great questions that I don't have time to get into today. But if you'll call back next week and we'll talk about that, because that is a topic that I really do want to share information with you, because the answer is always it depends. It depends on what's wrong. But I'll give you the short answer. The automobile manufacturers design the vehicle so it can be mass-produced online, plug and play, going down the assembly line. Plug this in, plug that in, plug this in, plug that in. Unfortunately, if you get to the end of the line, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10, if 10's on the outside of everything, and the car is delivered and you drive it and you put 100,000 miles on it and take it to a shop, you got to pull number 10 off to get to number 1, but you got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2 before you can get to number 1. It can be expensive, and I don't see that changing.
Yeah, it looks to me like, it depends on how much money the people have that's buying the cars, but it's got to be within the realm of the income, and,
I agree. It's all relevant. Hey, thank you so much for your call, and I look forward to hearing from you again, Victor.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to Texas and take a call from Steve. Steve, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Yes, sir. My name is Steven. I got a couple of issues. I got a little Chevy Colorado. It's an 06. Manual transmission.
Okay.
I don't know if any of that matters. Now, the first issue started whenever I filled up at a gas pump, and it didn't automatically click off like it's supposed to, so it overflowed.
Oh, okay.
Ever since that day.
Yeah, I hate that when it happens, but yeah, go ahead, please.
Ever since that day, anytime I fill up, it don't matter if I'm putting 1 gallon or if I'm filling it up from bone dry.
Right.
It will not start on the first crank. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 cranks to get it to fire off.
Okay.
And I thought maybe it was the gas cap, tried taking it off, putting it back on,
Right.
and that doesn't cause it to repeat the issue. I'm wondering if it's not the charcoal filter on the
Yes.
vent on the
Absolutely,
the tank.
Stephen. You are thinking right on the nose there. It's the evaporative emissions system, and I really, like you, I hate that when it happens because that fuel comes up and it gets on the car. It gets on you, but you can wash your hands. But it gets on the car, which really disturbs me. I've only dripped a couple of drops of gas on my car in the last 3 years because I'm anal about that. But here's the bottom line: the gas tank fill pipe has another smaller pipe on its piggyback, and that piggyback goes from the gas tank vent and charcoal canister up to the back of the filler pipe and allows air to exit the tank as you put liquid fuel in so that the fuel can displace the air. The air has to get out, and it has to get out around the fill tank. And so that, to me, tells me that either you had a bad, problem there. But the bottom line is you're on the right track, and it is an evaporative emission. I would check that particular part of the vehicle for yourself. Are you calling from Tyler, Texas?
Just south of Tyler, a little town called Jacksonville.
Well, hey, thanks for calling today.
Potato
And
Bowl.
when you get to the other side of this problem, call me back and let me know what you found.
All right, and the second issue was and I don't know when this started, but especially on cold days, sometimes warm days, it kind of varies. Whenever I start up in the morning, it acts like it wants to run on 1 or 2 cylinders, sitting there just barely loping along. Very little to no power, and I have to actually play with the pedal, and as I'm releasing the pedal, it actually idles up enough where I can get a high enough RPM to get it warm, and once it's warm, it runs just fine.
Okay, so here's what I suggest. Yes or no, is the check engine light on?
Yes. O2 sensor was
okay.
last time I had it checked.
Okay, there you go then, and so here's what you do. You address the issue with a light, and you fix that issue first, and then you see how that affects it. You don't put all that and combine everything together. You take first things first. Hey, thanks for your call, Stephen. Always love to hear from Texas. And thanks to everyone who called in today and who messaged over the last couple of days to enter to win the O'Reilly Auto Parts $25 gift card. Now it's time to announce the winner. And Kevin, if you would, a drum roll, please. Oh, that's the loudest drum roll I've ever heard. I never heard. Okay, never mind. Tom King, you've won the prize. Tom lives in Michigan, a hop, skip, and jump away from Detroit. Tom, thanks for being a loyal Car Clinic fan, and congratulations on winning the $25 gift card from O'Reilly Auto Parts. How about that? Tom King, just outside of in Michigan, a hop, skip, and jump away from Detroit. Congratulations. And folks, remember, next week, same time, same station, right here on Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Like us, you'll love us. Have a great time. Take care of your cars. I'll see you next week.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
History is full of automotive breakthroughs, like Henry Ford's Model T in 1908 and flashing turn signals in 1935. Now, Shell is proud to introduce another automotive breakthrough, Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, featuring an innovative additive package with patented technology. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline protects against all 3 main types of engine performance threats: gunk, corrosion, and wear. All gasolines have minimal amounts of cleaning agents required by EPA, but this may not be sufficient to prevent buildup of deposits. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline provides unbeatable protection against gunk and corrosion, plus superior protection against wear. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, proven in industry standard tests and recommended by BMW M Series. Don't give your engine just any premium gasoline. Choose a breakthrough. Choose Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Learn more at shell.com/US.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Ricey Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, Loden, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, starts my morning, happy morning. Your name is Folgers Mountain Grown